computer. Okay. Okay, so we're going to start the next section here. So hopefully you guys have gone through ellipses and you're now working on hyperbolas. The key here is make sure if you have the ability to get the notes downloaded or printed off, that'd be best. I'm not sure if my camera's working or not, but I have them just printed off. This last part of the notes is really important. There's some information there, but this very last part is what we're going to look at today. We're going to use to help us figure some things out. So one thing you guys will notice here, hopefully you noticed yesterday with the equations, is that the direction of the parabolas matter. Whether the x goes first and it opens horizontally, or if the y goes first and it opens vertically. So that's going to determine how we get our answers. So I'm going to go ahead just start right into this because pretty much I've split up each lesson is its own section. There's no more, like there's one learning objective here for every day. And so we're going to find the locations of the vertices of the hyperbola. And the one thing that we're going to have to do, just the way the canvas is set up, we're going to have to make sure that we put things in order from left to right or from top to bottom, depending if it's horizontal or vertical. So there's a couple different ways we can do this. One way we can do this, I'll show you, is to use Desmos. And so that will be the first approach I will use, and then I'll show you guys how we can do this without Desmos. Okay, so we got here x squared minus 81. Let me make sure.
Daddy, that's too loud.
Well, I'm too loud?
Yeah, we're going a different.
Why don't you go to a different room, bud? You do. Oh my God, I'm sorry. All right, here we go. Let's go to Desmos. I'm going to type this in. This is probably the easiest way to do this. X squared, I think it was divided by 81 minus y squared divided by, I forget, what was it? 4. Hopefully you guys can see this on the screen. Equals 1. Everything we do with these hyperbolas are going to be just straightforward, equations. We're not going to be doing any completing the square or anything like that. So if we get this, you can kind of zoom out here. We can see we got a horizontal hyperbola. It does start out with x squared, so that's horizontal. And we can actually click on them, and we have our two vertices, negative 9, 0, and positive 9, 0. So those are answers, negative 9, 0, 0, and positive 9, 0. And we want to make sure we go in order from left to right, up and down. Okay, how we can get this without Desmos. So if you are a math person and you don't feel like typing this in, you think you can handle it, this is how we can get this. So if we look back at our notes, I have it in my notes here. Actually, I think this is a different one. It'll be the same thing. We have these formulas here. So we're going to look at this part here. We have a horizontal, and our vertices are found at h plus or minus a k, where h is the number next to the x, k is the number next to the y, a is the number underneath the x when it's horizontal, and b is the number, actually it's the square root of the number underneath the x, b is the square root of the number underneath the y. So if we look at it, in this problem, h and k are both 0 because there's nothing being added or subtracted to the x's or the y's. So that's why k's are zeros. And then our a number is 81. Well, that's a squared, and the square root of 81 is 9. So if I take the 0 that's with the x and subtract 9, we get a negative 9. And if I take the 0 next to the x and add a 9, we get 9. So we can actually do that same trick here, and then we'll match this up. So if we look at this problem, it's y minus 20, or y squared over 25 minus x squared over 16. So we know that our, we're going to look at the vertical one. And our answer is going to be h, comma, k plus or minus a. So let's look at h. Let's first find that that's going to be the number next to the x. Well, there is no number next to the x, so both of these are going to start out as 0. 0 something and 0 something. Now to get the other number, we're going to take, we'll look at the formula again. The other number is k, which is the number next to the y in this case, since it's vertical, plus or minus a, the square root of the bottom number. So the number next to the y is 0, and we're going to add and subtract the square root of 25. So 0 minus square root of 25 is 5 is negative 5. 0 plus 5 is 5. Now, I'm going to go through Desmos, just type this in to double check. I think this is at 0, negative 5, and 0, positive 5. So here we go. We'll type it in. Y squared divided by 25 minus x squared divided by, I didn't even know what the x was at, 16 equals 1. All right, and we can click on them. We can see here, one's at 0, 5, 0, negative 5. And we're going to answer it from bottom to top. So 0, negative 5, 0, positive 5. So I prefer to do it the math way, looking at the formula, but you guys can type it in too. Okay, so let's make the equations a little bit more difficult, and we'll still go through it. So let's go through this one. We got x squared. It starts with x's. So let's look at our formula here. X's. We're going to have h plus or minus a comma k. So let's first take care of this k part. This k is going to be by itself, left alone. It's at the end here, and k is the number next to the y, or it's the opposite number next to the y. So it's y minus that number. So we have y plus 8. So technically our k is negative 8 because it's y minus a negative 8 to make it plus 8. So we think it would be ending with negative 8 on both of those. Okay, the other numbers here, let's look back at the formula again, is going to be h plus or minus a. So h is the opposite number next to the x, and a is the square root of the bottom number. So the opposite number of 2 is negative 2, and the square root of the bottom number is 13. So if we had negative 2 minus 13, that'd be a negative 15. And then negative 2 plus 13 would be 11. So that's what I think the vertices are. So I'm going to type this into Desmos and see if we are right. X plus 2 squared divided by 13 minus y plus 8 squared divided by, oh, it wasn't 13, it was 169. That would make a difference. And then what's the number 4? Number actually has no point in this section here. Equals 1. All right, so I have to zoom out a little bit, and I got, can I click on them? Yeah, I can kind of click. I don't know why it's not letting me click on this case. I'm not zoom in, but if I look through right here, negative 15, negative 8, yep, that seems to be a vertex of that. And then over here, 11, negative 8. Okay. And last one, here we go. So we got a y equals, so we'll go back to our formula sheet. Over here is our y equals. So y equals starts out with our vertices, starts out with h. We're going to leave that alone. Man, I hope my battery doesn't die here. H is the number next to the x. So it's going to be opposite of here. So instead of plus 2, h is going to be negative 2. And then the other number in the vertice, going back to the formula, is k plus or minus a. So we're going to take the k number, which is next to the y, and add and subtract the square root of the bottom number, the number underneath that. So we got negative 8 here is the number, and then the square root of 36 is 6. So if we had negative 8 minus 6, that'd be a negative 14. And if we had a negative 8 plus 6, that'd be a negative 2. So I'm going to type those into Desmos and see if I get those answers. We have, what is it, y plus 2? How can I, y plus 8 over 36. Okay. Y plus 8 over 36. And then we had x plus 2 over 25. Okay. What did it say? Undefined. That's really weird. This is undefined. Does it say undefined there too? Yeah, that should work. That should be -2, -14. -2, -2. Wonder why is it saying? Must be just typing it in. What if I do this? Control X. I don't know why, but okay, those are the answers though. -2 and 2. So, all right, check. Okay, so that should be it. Let's should I see how well I did? Should always do this just to see what was my score. Oh, it didn't even tell me. Oh, 4 out of 4. There we go. Okay, guys. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. I wanted the first 2 lessons to be open so you guys can explain. Oh, I got somebody just added in. So I wanted the first 2 lessons to be kind of short and have you guys explore hyperbolas on your own. But there we go. So if you guys don't mind, I'm going to share this. Do you guys have any questions? I know, Kaylee, you just popped in. Good. Okay. I'll check the chat. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to end the meeting here. And then I will post this on every source that we have so you guys can find it somewhere and watch this and get some help. All right. Best of luck. Thanks for hanging in here. We're trying something new. Another week done. Have a good one.